What's up guys, Magnolia Mo here and welcome back to my channel. IMAX DTS is the elusive audio option on the PS5 thus far. You have IMAX Enhanced titles, but you have Dolby Atmos as the audio and not IMAX DTS on the PS5. The same Sony Core App on my Sony Bravia TV A80J, the same titles that I have right on the Sony Core App on the TV have IMAX DTS as the audio option. So I've been waiting for the PS5 to put out an update. In the meantime, a couple days ago, one of my subscribers wrote me a message, and this is what he said. I've gotten IMAX DTS to function on my PS5. You pause the movie, go into the sound options at the bottom of the screen, and if the movie has AAC 5.1 audio in the selection list, choose that. Then go into your surround parameters and turn IMAX mode from auto to on, and IMAX processing is enabled. And obviously, this subscriber has noticed an audible difference with the IMAX DTS turned on, along with the surrounds being moved to the rears like they are in an IMAX theater. So I figured I'll make a video on this and show you guys how to do this. And it's pretty simple, it's pretty basic. Without further ado, without wasting any time, let's get on with it. Here's how you set up the PS5 to output DTS so that IMAX post-processing is engaged. You go into settings and then go down to sound, go to audio output of your PS5 obviously, and then audio priority needs to be set at DTS, not linear PCM, Dolby Atmos or Dolby Audio, but DTS. This will ensure that the DTS flag is available when the audio is output, and it's going to then trigger the IMAX DTS post-processing, right? So that's not all. You need to do some additional things in here, additional steps that you need to follow. But remember, this setting, this audio priority, is mostly for gaming and it's for your media apps, right? If you want to force linear PCM, or if you want to force DTS like what we're doing right now, right? So if I selected Dolby Atmos as the output all the time, regardless of what the audio is on a given title, it will try to output Dolby Atmos, and I've already done a video on that where I've shown that that does not work effectively, right? So now let's go out. Once we've set up the audio to DTS, now let's go into the Sony Pictures Core App. And we're going to select from my library The Amazing Spider-Man 2. This title on my Sony Core App on my Sony Bravia TV, the A80J, has IMAX DTS as the audio, but not on the PS5. On the PS5, it's only limited to 5.1 Dolby Digital Plus. Right? So what I'm trying to get at here is I'm trying to see if there is an audio format for AAC 5.1, which will then output as a DTS stream, and it will trigger IMAX post-processing. So as you can see, the audio being output is Dolby Digital Plus, and as I mentioned earlier, that doesn't change based on what you set up in your audio priority. Now, you go in here and you see there's only Dolby Digital in English that's available. AAC 5.1 is not available, so this is not a good title to try this out on, right? So we're going to exit here. All right, go to the DaVinci Code. This one on the PS5 has Dolby Atmos as your audio. And on the Sony Core App on my Bravia TV, I also have the IMAX DTS option, right? So this particular movie, let's click on it. So the audio options here are AAC 5.1 and Dolby Atmos, right? So right now I'm outputting Dolby Atmos because I just want to show you that DTS setting doesn't do anything. It's going to output Dolby Atmos like it should, right, on a Dolby Digital Plus mat. So that part is fine. So now we're going to go back to those three bars change the audio to AAC 5.1, and voila, you are getting IMAX DTS. Wait, let me bring that up again. Yes, you're getting IMAX DTS with Neural X processing, which engages your height speakers. And the signal coming in is DTS. So that's the DTS flag that I was talking about. You have to, if you didn't touch the audio in the priority and changed it to DTS, that flag would not be there. And now go into your IMAX or audio settings of your AVR. And here, the IMAX option by default on every AVR is set to auto. Okay, so if you didn't change it, right, if you just left it as auto, the IMAX DTS is not engaged. It's just going to go DTS plus Neural X. So you must go into your audio settings, right there on your Marantz or Pioneer Elite or whatever processor you have that has IMAX. Go into the surround parameter, and under IMAX, change the auto to on. Okay, when you turn it on, there it is, IMAX DTS plus Neural X. That's how you get IMAX DTS on the PS5 for titles, or obviously for anything right now, because no title has IMAX sound, IMAX DTS sound on the PS5. So this is how you're forcing it, right? Even though the audio was in Dolby Atmos. Let's try another one. This is Equalizer 3. Again, on my Sony Bravia TV, this one has the IMAX DTS audio. All I'm trying to see is, does this have the AAC 5.1? And it has it in Spanish, so it doesn't do anything for me. So I'm going to get out of there, go into the next title that I have here, which is Spider-Man 2. And again, audio on this one is Dolby Atmos on the PS5 and is most likely outputting Dolby Atmos right now. Yep. So go into the audio, change it to English AAC 5.1. There you go. IMAX DTS. All right. So that is how it's done as far as the PS5 and your AVR settings are concerned. All right. So I have to tell you, right? So I listened to and watched Spider-Man 2 and even the Da Vinci Code, right? And I was switching between Dolby Atmos and the IMAX DTS with Neural X engaged, right? And I didn't hear that big of a difference between the two when it comes to surround activity, right? So think about this for a second, right? The audio option that we select in order to force IMAX DTS is AAC 5.1, not 7.1 or 7.1.4 or 6. There is no height information. So I don't know how this is possible, but it seems to work really well, right? Because when you do select AAC 5.1 and then make the updates in your AVR and turn on the IMAX, not keep it at auto, turn on the IMAX and watch the movie, the height effects are very similar. They're almost identical in both scenarios, like Dolby Atmos and then the IMAX DTS Neural X processing, which is kind of a mind-blowing thing for me because I know that audio is not, recorded that way. It's just 5.1. So I am not sure how that's possible. But at the end of the day, it does sound really good. The dialogue is heavier like it is normally when you're watching IMAX DTS movies, right, in your home or when you're watching it in an IMAX theater. So I'm actually excited to actually go back and watch some of these movies again to see if there is really a difference or if they're identical, like what I just noticed when I was just watching it for a few minutes here and there, right, just to test it out. So that's encouraging. Now, the other part is, so I said, if I just turn on IMAX, right, and I somehow, if I have a DTS master audio disc, Blu-ray disc, why can't I force IMAX processing on that, right? And the answer to that is you can't, right? So meaning it has to be your legacy DTS flag, not DTS HD or DTS Master Audio or DTS X. Has to be that DTS flag that the PS5 is generating, I guess, because I put in an old DVD that I have. It's a Apollo 13. It's the IMAX version on a DVD. Believe it or not, it has DTS audio. So I figured it would work on that, but it didn't. It just outputted DTS. So IMAX didn't get engaged. So now I'm wondering, if it's only a PS5 thing and it's only relegated to that AAC 5.1 signal that somehow gets that PS5 is forcing that DTS flag on, because it didn't work on my Blu-ray player, on my Panasonic 820 UB820 that I have. I tried a bunch of titles with the DTS HD, DTS Master Audio, DTS-X. It would just output DTS. It wouldn't, even though it wouldn't change the audio to IMAX, because on the AVR, how I was able to flip the IMAX audio from auto to on, that option doesn't even come on, right? It's just either auto or off when I'm playing a DVD, right, or a Blu-ray disc with DTS audio, right? So for whatever reason, it only works on the PS5, and it only works on the Sony Bravia or on the Sony Core app. All the other titles, for instance, the Voodoo app that I have, it's just the audio is just Dolby Atmos or Dolby Digital. There is no AAC 5.1. So I'm kind of convinced that it's a Sony Core app thing, where if the audio is AAC 5.1, then the PS5 will generate or put that DTS flag on there to enable IMAX DTS audio. So that's a good thing, right? So you can get the IMAX DTS audio if you followed what I did on the screen earlier. All right, so I hope you guys like this video. I hope you find it useful. Leave me some comments and feedback on what you thought about this update, if you're able to get it to work on your system, on your PS5 and your AVRs. All right, until then, I will see you guys in the next one.